I'm getting there.
They should really throw that hat away.
Why? I like it. Stop. It's comfortable.
Looks like something Bob would wear.
So wrong. You have no fashion sense, dude.
Dude, fashion sense is not playing a role in this one. Really throw that hat away.
No.
Why? Okay. I like it. Stop. It's comfortable. Okay. Looks like something Bob. They should really throw that hat away.
Okay.
Why? I like it. Stop. It's comfortable. Looks like kill that on.
Wait a minute. Hang on.
What's going on? No fashion sense, dude.
Okay. What's going on here? Okay, there we go. We're back.
We're back or we're on?
We're back. We're on. Ethan Tucker, Andrew Strong, NWA MTB, and some guy named Danielle. It might be Daniel. I don't know. I think it's Danielle. Hola, Danielle. What's happening, dude?
Just burning up here in Phoenix.
Yeah, it's warm there.
Oh yeah, extreme heat alert.
I saw that. I saw people posting. There was one up in Sedona as well.
Yeah. Did your local news show everybody running around with their hair on fire?
No.
You know how they do that? Like,
yeah.
National news just makes it look like everybody's bursting into flames.
Yeah. Matt Hawking, Ethan Tucker likes the Fazari, the Red Mountain Goat. Ladies and gentlemen, the Red Mountain Goat.
Goat has tuned in.
Is there. We got to get him on here at some point.
Yeah.
One of these next lives, we're going to get the Red Mountain Goat, Alex Petit Demange, to talk a lot about bike setup. And my man, Harry Hill, is here as well. He said, yo. So I think next week we're going to get Harry on and we're going to have him talk about what we just did with the Minority Mountain Bike Group in the Bentonville Bike Week. You and I talked about it a lot, and
it looked like a fantastic event. I'm really sorry I wasn't there.
It was amazing, and I think we're going to get him to. He and I are going to kind of recap, and we'll push it out a little bit more. But I think we'll get him on to talk about it because it really was, dude. It was a really cool event, and you know, it's something that you could even say it was history in a way. It was more than a biking event, and it was good. It was really good. And we're going to get to that in a minute. How are you? What's new in your world?
Just working. Yep. Waiting for some more bikes.
Trying
to round up pieces.
Darren Ramsey says, hey, from Australia. Darren, hey, where are you at in Australia?
Hey, mate.
Hey, good eye, mate. Throw another shrimp on the bobby. A dingo eat the baby.
I don't think they like that.
Story. I'd like to know where you're from, Darren, because it would be cool to go out to Australia and ride sometime. Josh Hickson asked, can I still whip without a beard? Yes.
You whip without a beard?
Yes. Yes, I can.
They also.
Yes, I can. Canberra. That's a cool spot. Is there any good riding out there? Where is the cool spot in Australia where they raced?
I don't know where they raced in Australia. New Zealand, I know where they.
No, Australia's got that one with the gnarly rocks. They go in between. Like there's two huge rocks and they just kind of go between with the bars.
I don't know.
Mount Strombo. That's a cool place. Maybe 23, 24, they will get out there. We'll see. So you're waiting on some bikes. What are you waiting on?
Waiting on a Rebel Rascal.
Oh,
that should ship out sometime this week. I'm hoping.
Okay.
And
shipping out.
I made a deal with my man Red Mountain Goat for a specialized stump jumper Evo.
Ooh, the Evo. That's gonna be cool. Tommy Collins is on. You'll know him as Tommy Guns.
I see.
Yes. Yeah. I sent you a picture of Tommy and I.
Tommy did have some guns. Yeah,
Tommy's got some guns. So I'm excited for you to take what you learned and bring it back home. Antonio's there from a place I can't describe, but I think it's out there a ways. So Rebel Rascal, great bike. I've ridden one. Very, very impressed. And I've also ridden the Specialized. So that's something that I think you're gonna dig. I really do. What size did you get?
S3.
S3. Okay. Yeah, I think that's good. That's it.
Yeah, I sat on I sat on Lars's S4, and it's just such a monster.
Yep. Yeah, I think you'll like that one because I think it'll play a little bit more into your riding style. It's a longer wheelbase, but I think the reach will be good and you'll get a pretty decent head angle with it. I loved it, dude. I loved the S3 when I rode it. So I'm excited because I got the S3 in that and I got the S4. And it's so funny, dude. So I looked on my email today. I was just curious. I'm like, I wonder what's going on with the bikes that are coming from Specialized. And I checked the email and it said that the stump jumpers will land here or land in the States like early July. And so they'll ship out after that. So July-ish is when I should get them, which is going to be interesting because I don't know where they're going to ship to. So it depends on where we're at in the country. They may have to ship out or they're going to ship here. I don't know. But it said that the Levo would be going out in roughly 30 days. And I'm like, oh man, I looked and it was like 26 days. So I'm like, okay, a few more weeks.
A little bit of time to wait.
Literally, I close my computer and I'm sitting there just trying to relax. And Sarah goes, oh, FedEx is here. And they have a Specialized box. And I was, what? And so homeboy came over and he was struggling a little bit. So I knew there was some heavy in that box. And sure enough, dude, the 22 Levo Pro has arrived. So I'm hoping to get some time on that thing soon. You know what's rad? It's the same color as my Levo SL.
Lucky you.
Yes. So I'm going to put on the Levo SL, I got those new skin wall Specialized tires.
Yeah.
We're going to put some of those on the Levo and get them matching up. So
nice.
Yeah. A lot of good bikes coming. Somebody asked if I watched the World Cup. Joey Trimble asked if I watched the World Cup. Yes, dude, you got to watch the World Cup downhill. Such a great race, man.
I saw a few people's runs that they posted on like IGTV, but I can never seem to track down where to watch it.
It's Red Bull TV, dude. There might not be anything simpler in the world.
I don't know. I try to do it on my television. And it doesn't seem to work out.
Yeah,
you talk to my remote, Red Bull TV, and I get like yachting.
So that's what pops up, and then say Red Bull TV World Cup downhill, whatever. Anyways, dude, it was awesome. Like it was, Amaury Piron came back, so he's been out for a long time with injuries and whatnot, and he laid down a heater really early, so he sat in the hot seat for a long time. And one after one, dudes were ripping at the top.
Eddie Masters was trucking at the top, and then he got a little chalked up in the ruts. But
everybody did. Everybody got to the woods, and just they couldn't hang, dude. The woods were gnarly, and it was good, dude. And Brosnan Rob Warner was losing his mind. Brosnan was like 1.7 back as he came in to the woods and just smashed it. So you got to watch it, dude. It
sounded like there was some weather that altered the conditions for different people.
Yeah, that's part of it, dude.
Yeah, no, I get it. That would be unfortunate. Somebody gets a full killer hero dirt run and then you got to go in the rain. It's like,
oh man. Yeah, it was rad. I haven't really been into them a whole lot, but this one was pretty good. And I think now I'm going to get into it a little bit more. We had some cool events, really cool week. And we started the week last week with a corporate event, and we initially were going to get you here for that corporate retreat, but the timing had to shift because of a few things. And so we couldn't get you here, but that was awesome. Company from Wisconsin came out, 6 dudes, and they had a blast. We did everything. We did the skills work. We showed them all over, showed them what Bentonville should be like. And it was great because at the end of the day, or at the end of the third day, I went and met the guys over at Bike Rack, and Shane, the dude that crashed and bounced his face off a hammer down and got back up and rode the rest of the day. He said, dude, I really feel like I know what Bentonville's about. Like I got a real taste of Bentonville. So I was excited because that was the goal. That's what I was after for that. So that worked really good. And then
did you get any of those smashed potatoes at
Of course.
oven and tap.
Of course, dude. He got
Then he
over a
has,
bagel.
if he got that and a spicy Joe, then he did experience Bentonville as it should be experienced.
So yeah, he did. He did. They got all those things. It was really good. I hope that Alex is still on here because it looks like Toff's MTB. I don't know exactly how that's supposed to be pronounced, but he said the Red Mountain Goat Rich video in Arizona sold him on the Stumpy. Picked it up last week. Maiden voyage will be Saturday. I've told you over and over again, dude, those videos, they're valuable, man. You go ride behind somebody like Alex and talk about what you're experiencing, and people appreciate that. Yeah, I'm telling you, man. Rob's getting there, everybody. We're getting him.
My problem is I so thoroughly enjoy the experience myself. I fail to share.
Yeah, but I think that's part of it. And we've talked about this, and I think your sentiment of you needing to ride the bike more, I appreciate that. I think there's a good balance there. I'm Cole Trickle, baby. Give me the bike. Let me ride it. You need a few days to work it out and figure out what's what. And I respect it. Damn it.
Well, usually it's more than a few days.
Like Sting.
I ride it.
Sting. I don't listen to his music. I respect that he's making it, but I don't listen to it. Yeah, I think we need to get more, and hopefully next year that'll be the case. We'll get more of that. Like, I think both of us giving our input is good because I'm generally a bike liker across the board. You're a bit more discerning. So I think bouncing those both of those things off will be good. Let me ask you this, dude, since I brought up the Lebo and somebody's talked about bikes coming set up Mullet from the factory, French for Mullet. What do you think of that?
Is that bike Mullet?
It is.
I think that it has its place for sure. I don't know that an e-bike is the place. The thing that I like about the 27.5 is how quick it accelerates. So especially in technical climbing, if you're in chunky stuff and your momentum stops, you can restart that momentum much easier on 27.5. However, like we talked about that time you first rode the 29 Firebird, when you feel like it's a struggle in second or third gear and your instinct is to downshift, if you upshift instead, put a little pedal effort in to get the bike rolling, you can continue that momentum with equal effort and reduce your time under load for the climb. So in the end, it's easier.
Yeah.
But it's counterintuitive. You wouldn't think that that's the way to make that work. And so in some circumstances, if it's really technical, you just can't, you can't carry that speed. The other thing is obviously if you have a bike that's not that slack and you'd like to make it more slack, putting a small wheel on the back will lay the bike back. But the way that bikes come slack now, I don't see where the need for that is in that circumstance.
So very quickly before we go any deeper, again, I always forget, dude, but Trail Monster just came in with a $5 super chat, and they're in Tucson, getting ready to go out for a ride. Wanted to say hello. So thank you, Trail Monster. I appreciate that. I got to get better about the super chat thing. It's really cool. That's a really cool thing because we like doing this. And now I'm compiling, I'm putting all these funds together for when Rob comes out. I can buy his bagels, his
I need a lot of money for my bagels,
crepes. So it's very good. So,
and my smashed potatoes.
Thank you. The smashed potatoes. I think at some point that's something we would dive deeper into, because I remember when you told me that upshift versus downshift. That's the right way to say it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Shift into a harder gear, not an easier gear. That doesn't seem like it makes sense.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it makes sense. I agree. One other thing, this came up. Somebody asked, will we go to Whistler? We've been there, and yes, we will go back at some point. It's not going to be this year.
I don't think they'll let us go there now.
They won't. Yeah. So that's why it won't be this year. I think next year we might.
Americans not allowed.
And we're already locked in to our 2021 schedule, and we'll talk about that.
2021's over already.
It's not over. We're still going. So a question came up about the Delano. Do you think the Delano is the one do-it-all bike for Arkansas and enduro racing? My answer is no. And then somebody asked, is the Fazari a nice bike? My answer is yes, indeed, it is.
Fazari is a good bike.
Fazari is a great bike. I don't think it's the one do-it-all bike for Arkansas and enduro racing. I think it can fit that purpose very well. But in my personal opinion, I think Arkansas enduro racing, a smaller travel, more efficient bike is a better.
I think like an Izzo, like a 130, 150 bike is probably all you would need. A good 130, 150 bike be the ticket. Yeah. But you definitely need something smaller that pedals the pedals efficiently. Because that kind of enduro is like BMX racing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely BMX racing. But I can tell you it's a great bike. And we went and rode Winrock with it, and it was awesome. I put the 160 Zeb on the front and an X2 that was 142 mil.
Yeah.
And it was pretty rad. I thought the bike worked great. I don't think that I would have been any faster had I been on a different bike. So
in retrospect, the stuff that we raced, that bike was all you needed.
Yeah, that bike was great.
Matter of fact, I don't think I really needed to change that fork, but I didn't ride mine with the X2 on it yet. Remember, I switched it as I was leaving.
Yeah, you were on the Super Deluxe.
Yeah, and so I'm pretty eager to ride it with the X2 because every bike I put an X2 on made the bike better.
Dude, Casey with a $10 super chat, or what I like to call an Onyx shake and a half.
That's right.
And then my man Jared from Cure Cycling bringing in bagel fund money for the two of his favorite workaholics. Yeah, unfortunately, Jared, that's true. But when you love it, is it really work? And on that note, let's segue into this event. So the Minority Mountain Bikers Bentonville Bike Week, and I really hope Harry is still on here. And again, next week we're going to bring him on, so it'll be us three talking as long as he's down. I think he's down to do it, and maybe we'll even bring Andy. We might see if we can have four of us because Andy came up. To just kind of recap, Sarah and I made the video on Red Barn, and I talked about diversity in trails when it started. I said, the trails are very diverse for a lot of different kinds of riders. And Sarah came in and she talked about the women who ride and the kids and all these different things. And we went out and made this video, and 4 or 5 people show up. And of course they're all white. And Harry made the comment that, diversity means diverse. Yeah. That's the epitome of non-diversity. And what he said was diversity means different things to different people. And it was interesting because he was very eloquent, I think, when he worded it, and some people responded to say kind of it is what it is sort of thing. He's like that, that's a cross section of mostly mountain biking and definitely Arkansas. And Harry handled it very well. And he said, I know that. I'm not saying that's not the case, but it's an opportunity. What if there were more diversity? What if he showcased more diversity? So I asked him to reach out, send me an email, and we started some great dialogue. And I said, come out. I'd love to do a skills clinic with you. And I would love to show you the Oz trails through my eyes as they should be. And it's just going to be dudes on bikes. That's it. And I didn't expect it to be a very big group, and it turned into a massive group. And I think all in it was 26 or 27 people. And it very quickly became more than I could handle. So thankfully, Amy Ross and Kayleen from Visit Bentonville, Bike Bentonville, I got in touch. I reached out to them, and they stepped up, and they really helped make it a pretty incredible event. And I mean, you saw some of the social media, and I think you and I have talked about it. So you have an understanding of what my thoughts were. From the outside looking in, what did you think?
It looked like a good time. Like I said, I was sorry that I couldn't be there for it. Looked like it would have been fun. As a workaholic, I'm always down to do some work. And so
I was wrong. Harry said 31 people. I mean, it was the biggest clinic we'd ever done. And it was Caleb and my buddy James Maddox, who owns Shoreline Shuttle. came
I'm
out.
just disappointed that they didn't get the full experience.
Oh, here we go.
Sorry, Harry, you didn't get the full experience.
Next time.
If we do a reschedule,
well,
it's going to be new again for you because I'll be there.
Yeah, we're definitely going to do another one. That goes without saying, and I'm excited at what the next one could be, and I'm excited for you to be there because I think you would have been able to bring a lot to it in regards to not only the skill building portion, but when we were out on the trail, I think you just would have fed off it like I did. It was just rad. And, Andy will tell you about it at some point, but we just had fun. We just had.
I imagine Andy probably loved it.
Yeah. Andy had a blast. James had a blast. And it was, everything about it, I thought was great. And the feedback I got was that it was great. And there were a few things that stood out to me. I mean, it was two of the most amazing days that I have ever been able to be a part of. But watching the genuine joy and excitement when we did the clinic and all the progression was great. But then the next day we went back to Kohler for lunch and there were a lot of people at Kohler. Kohler is just a special place. It's a place where a lot of different people hang out and very diverse in usually hiking age and things like that. But again, it's very white dominant there.
I was going to say there's old white people, there's white people, there's young white people, there's white children.
Yeah. Well, and no, I mean, you're starting to see more now. Like there's a large Indian population here that work for Walmart. And what everybody saw were this large group of Black men having an amazing time. And I interacted with a lot of people that were genuinely excited, and they asked why. Like they asked the question that everybody was going to ask. It's not something you ordinarily see in Arkansas. Mm-hmm. And so they asked, and there was it wasn't veiled. Curiosity. Well, it wasn't veiled under like political correctness or anything like that. It was just a genuine desire to know what is happening, because I don't know, but I know I like what I'm seeing. And I interacted with a lot of these people, and they thought it was awesome. They just said, this is great. Like that bikes can bring people together and hopefully affect change. It was amazing, man. It really was. I had a great time, and we're already talking about what we're going to do with it next year and how we can hopefully grow it. And Harry's a rad dude. So Harry, hopefully you're still watching. I'm impressed. I mean, he spearheaded everything. He worked his butt off, and he just gave and gave and gave to the event. And from where I was, I think everybody had an amazing time. And he already has some great ideas for what we could do with it next year. And so we're going to let it incubate a little bit and get some feedback from everybody and figure out what we're going to do next year. Where is it going to be? How big of a scope is it going to be? One of the things that I thought would be great is to get more new people. Like a lot of these guys have ridden for a decent amount of time. I'd love to see if they could get a person that's new, and we do it, and we do skills building, and we do it with everybody. And maybe we split off and have breakout sessions for new riders to get more best practices. And we have one big event, but it has multiple facets to it in regards to skill level and experience and whatnot. So there's a lot to talk about. So I am excited. So Harry, thank you, man, for putting it together and just making it awesome. And I think next week we're going to try to get him on, and you'll get a chance to interact with him. He rode a pretty cool bike. I put him on the Delano.
Nice.
Yeah, he got on the loaner the whole time, and I think he loved it. So yeah, so it was pretty good. So Casey with a $10, I think that might be the second one from Casey.
Casey's hooking it up.
He's hooking it up. He asked if you're conducting private lessons during the week over the summer while you're traveling up north every weekend for clinics. If so, should I bring the Levo or the Enduro? Ooh. Casey, probably is the answer to that. I'm not sure. We're still trying to work all of that out, because what initially seemed like a giant window of time during the week from city to city is slowly shrinking because there's a lot of places that we want to go ride. And we're trying to figure out how much this guy can be a part of that midweek stuff. So I think either or, dude, the Levo or the Enduro is fine. Both great bikes. I love them. And I think I would say bring the one you ride the most. Would you agree, Rob?
Probably so.
Yeah, bring the one you ride the most. And so we can work with you on that. And then we did, or we're getting set to do the Bentonville Bike Fest. So again, Rob is hard at work in the blazing heat at Drew Brothers Customs, getting things done. So unfortunately, he can't be here for the Bentonville Bike Fest.
I will not make it.
And again, that's a bummer because for the 46 people watching, this is breaking news. This is world news, breaking news. We are going to be doing something at the Bentonville Bike Fest. I'm going to go out on a limb right now and say it will be the coolest thing at the Bentonville Bike Fest. Do you agree, Rob Drew?
I suppose I would agree.
You would agree. Definitely would agree. So what are we going to do?
Whatever it is, you have my support.
Yes. What are we going to do? What's going to be the coolest thing at the Bentonville Bike Fest? Dude, there's going to be a lot going on.
I don't know what the coolest thing will be.
The coolest thing is going to be when we roll up at the Bentonville Bike Fest festival area right there around Mama Bear in the coolest shuttle rig possibly on the planet.
Gotcha.
The super duper military shoreline shuttle rig. So we're going to pick 4 lucky people on Friday and 4 lucky people on Saturday to roll from the festival grounds over to the hub for a little snack, coffee, and then go shred some trails. And once we shred down, we're going to get shuttled over to a couple different spots. And then after, we are going to roll back to the hub for some food and drinks.
Nice.
So, oh yeah, that's great, right? But it doesn't stop there, Rob.
It
doesn't stop there.
But wait, there's more.
Wait, there's more. If you're one of these 4 people,
what would you pay?
If you're one of these 4 people, you're going to get a hat, not as cool as this.
Oh, darn.
You're going to get an Industry 9 hat. You're going to get some stuff from Junk, possibly a couple of other things we're working on last minute. And the grand prize, we're going to pick one person from each day to not only win a set of CushCore tire inserts, CushCore is going to install them.
Hey, now.
So what do you think?
Probably won't do it the way I do it, but
doesn't matter. As long as it gets done,
expeditiously and well.
As long as it gets done, it does not matter. Does not matter at all.
CushCore. Ted Agnick is on his way over here right now to have some CushCore installed by Rob Drew. He's taking me up on my offer.
He is. So wow, some of you may have remembered Rob Drew.
He's like the 5th guy to take me up on my offer.
Funny. That's really funny.
Yeah, you may remember that I told everybody if they bought CushCore and they were nearby, I would install them. And if they rode on them and they didn't like them, I would buy them back.
That's funny.
I've not had to buy any. And I suspected that would be the case. Yeah. But I also suspected I'd be installing some CushCore.
Yes. Can you talk about CushCore for the impossible install? Jared says. Talk about CushCore just for a second. Just give the brief synopsis of why, because it seems like every time we do this, there's people that don't quite understand why. So there's a lot of different things. Now, hang on. While you're doing that, I'm going to disappear because Sarah was cooking dinner, but she fell asleep putting Dex to sleep. So I got to handle it. I'll be right back. You entertain everybody.
Nice. So every time we bring up CushCore, somebody will jump in talking about a different tire insert company. I run this one. I run that one. So I've tried some others, but for me, the genius of the CushCore is also one of the contributing factors to people having some difficulty installing it. It's designed to fit very tight on the rim. And that's not an accident. It fits tight on the rim because it holds the tire on the bead like a rim lock internally. And that's a very important component because if you're, let's say, racing an enduro stage and you get a flat, you can ride out on the tire that's flat because you've got this insert holding the tire in place. And many of the other ones I'm familiar with are more like a pool noodle. And so they're inside the tire and they might provide some cushioning against a rim strike or a snake bite, but they're not designed to hold the tire in place and keep it on the bead. And that's one of the really important aspects. And then some other ones that I've tried, they'll go up and they'll go inside and touch the casing of the tire, which affects the tire's ability to comply with the terrain. And for my experience, makes it like a big wheel tire. You've ever ridden a big wheel? Those hard plastic tires, no grip at all. And for me, that defeats the purpose of an insert of a tire. It needs to be beneficial to handling, not detrimental to handling.
Somebody says, Andrew says low PSI, and I went from running 28 front, 30 rear, 2.5 million DHF. You originally put CushCore in, I was 2025.
Yeah.
You raced at Windrock, and I got on my bike.
We got a little moisture in the trail, and I was concerned about wet roots and rocks. So we pulled like 3 or 4 PSI out. And
yeah, dude, you ran me 18:22. Yeah, 18:22 at the Rock.
Yeah. And I ran the same setup, and I never, even in the good grip we had, loaded corners, I never got the sensation like I was going to peel the thing off.
No, not even close, dude. Yeah, I was frightened by the amount of traction. I got nowhere near pushing the limits of the traction, and it was incredible. And Michael's asking about the opinions on CushCore XC. I have CushCore XC in my Epic Evo. So it's much smaller, and I'm running.
I would say if you're running a smaller tire and you can't fit the Pro, then obviously run the XC. But if you can,
that's a good point.
Pro, I say run the Pro.
Yeah. So
I had the XCs in my Mach 4 SL because
somebody recently made a video. Somebody that Andy and I know, and he made a video about CushCore XC and said that he didn't like it. He ran CushCore XC in a 2.5 tire with a wide track tire, and it's not meant for that. Like, don't run the lightweight version in a larger tire being 2.3 on up.
I don't think it's not going to hold the tire on the rim like it's designed to, like the one you want is designed to, and it doesn't take up enough volume in a tire that big. So you lose a lot of the benefits, and it's probably not wide enough to protect from a snake bite anyway. It's the right tool for the job. You need to put the application that fits what you're doing.
Yeah. And again, the XC thing and the weight thing, it's just comical.
I every time I hear the weight thing, I just think to myself, seriously, man?
Yeah.
They don't weigh a pound.
No, they're super.
So eat a little better, lose 2 pounds, and now it's like they're non-existent.
That's coming from Mr. Bagel.
Yeah, well, and I don't feel a noticeable difference in rolling resistance. Here's the thing. If you're running an optimal CushCore setup, will you notice more rolling resistance? Yes, you will, because you're running less tire pressure.
Yeah.
So what happens with less tire pressure is you splay out the tire, you increase your contact patch. That's where your grip comes from, but it also adds a friction cohesion or coefficient. And so that creates more drag. That's what you feel. It's not the weight of the CushCore.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, there's give and take with everything. If you want grip, it needs more tire contact to the ground, and that comes at a price. And so if you don't care about grip and you want it to roll easy, I'll pose a question to you, pose a scenario to you. If you feel like CushCore is heavy, put 40 pounds of pressure in your tires with CushCore and then go ride it and see if it's a noticeable difference. I think what you'll find is it rolls really good, and you don't even
but you're gonna be bouncing all over.
Grip benefits, but if weight's that big of a problem, whatever. You can't please all the people all the time, that's for sure.
Yeah. So a couple of other things. A couple people have asked if I'm racing Arkansas Enduro at Ponca BOC. I'm not. I would like to, because Buffalo Outdoor Center is rad. Like, that's one of the places that I'm going to get you at. But no, the schedule this year is crazy, and the focus, as much as I would love it to be on racing, the focus is growing the ride series,
And they
and
don't have a Clydesdale class, so
they don't have a Clydesdale class. And I think we talked about this too, where I'm at in life right now, and more most notably, my lack of fitness is one of the main reasons that I won't ride the Arkansas Enduro Series. I race for fun, and it's just the backlash, the marketing backlash of me getting thoroughly
so upside
decimated.
to getting smoked
Yeah,
at
it
a
doesn't
Arkansas
make any
event.
sense. And so I can
And
race
although it's 5 world-class venues, I mean that is true.
easy,
But
easy.
you don't even
So yeah, I'm not going to be racing any of those because we're going to be running wide open. So we're going to go to, after the Bentonville Bike Fest, we're going to leave. We're going to go to Indianapolis and Chicago. And do we want to say why
nope.
we picked?
Nope,
No,
nope. Don't want to discuss it.
no, you want to wait?
We'll wait.
Okay, we're not going to talk about why we're going to Chicago, Indy and Chicago for Ride Series events. And then we're going to go into La Crosse, Wisconsin, which I'm really excited about. I was on a podcast with Josh Blum a while back, and that's his hometown. So yeah, he's very graciously hosting us, and he's going to show us around all the cool spots. Then we're going to head out to Carver Lake, just outside of Minneapolis, Wisconsin, which again, another beautiful spot. And so I'm excited to get to those places. And then we're going to go spend a decent amount of time in Colorado. So July, the beginning of July, first 2 weekends of July, we're going to be in Denver and then Colorado Springs. So if any of the 44 people watching in and around the Denver area, check that out. We would love to see you. Very surprised. The numbers are really low. Like, I don't know if there's anybody signed up for Colorado Springs. So really? I'm sure it'll come a little bit later. We'll get there. But then, man, we got a Bentonville one at some point. We have a couple other things. The schedule is there. If you go to the website, you can see the schedule. It's funny. Alex, I'm looking over. Alex is making a comment on some tires. He said, CushCore, if he was still racing, he sees the use. On trail riding, there's room to go double down or DH casing before having to deal with CushCore, in his opinion.
No, he and I have talked about it extensively, but what I will say is I've tried to ride double down tires just on the rear of my bike.
Yeah.
Feels like I hooked a trailer to the back of the bike. The difference is so noticeable to me. And I don't like the way that casing, that thicker casing, the way the durometer, the rubber responds to the ground. I like the elasticity of an XO casing. And so I prefer to run the CushCore and a lighter tire because I like the way the tire complies to the ground.
I agree.
I don't like the
way
I
agree. So one thing Alex said is rider weight matters as well. And so I think that's a component here. He's super light.
Yeah.
We're a little heavier, and I think that matters because I, at one point, ran double downs with CushCore and then went to EXO Plus with CushCore, and I noticed a pretty big difference. Yeah. So yeah, you have a little bit burlier sidewall on the tire, but I just think you lose a decent amount of the benefit, and it makes more sense to me, like you said, to run an EXO or an EXO Plus casing.
Yeah, what's so funny to me is when people say that they don't like, when they say that they can feel the weight of the CushCore, but yet they might run a double down. It doesn't make sense to me because it's completely the opposite for me.
People say crazy things, dude. They say they like riding hardtails. What?
It's completely ludicrous.
Like riding a hardtail. So about 15 minutes left. Anybody out there have any questions? If you have any questions, throw them out. You know, it's not often that we have Rob Drew here answering questions. Do you have anything you want to talk about? Anything interesting or exciting in your world?
A lot of frame painting, a lot of bike frame painting.
Ooh.
Yeah. So it's not something that I advertise, but what I do is, hi, Sarah Drew. I occasionally don't think you can skulk through the background and not be noticed.
Yeah.
From time to time when I'm doing them for people that I know, because it's something I have done for a long time as a little side gig at my business. every once in a while I'll post a picture on social media, and I've done a few for Roman in Sedona, Red Rock MTB, and
Yeah.
he's been really happy with the work and gracious enough to share his bikes that I've done on his social media. So I'm getting a lot of positive feedback from that. So it's been kind of neat. Like I was telling you, I think, you know, if you have enough money, you can buy the coolest stuff. But what I really love is something that's bespoke, something that was created just for you. That's a one of one that nobody else has and they can't get. I like that. And that's the way that I think I can really stand out. It was one thing that I was always disappointed about with Pivot. I thought it would have been cool to do my own design and have all my bikes match. I thought it would have been neat, and I thought it would have got a lot of traction. Now I understand Chris's position was he wanted the athletes to ride the bikes as they were available to the customers, and I get that from a marketing standpoint. I get that, but I see the traction that people everywhere get when they do something custom, because it's cool.
Yeah, I see both sides of it. I really do.
Yeah.
This is a good one. Caleb said, advice on getting back to MTB after a broken wrist. He's 4 weeks out post-surgery. I'll give you mine. Nutrition. Make your nutrition as good as possible right now. Be a monk if you can, because you want to limit inflammation. Drink a lot of water. Stay very hydrated. And be diligent.
Don't rush it. Don't rush it.
Yeah, don't rush it.
Always try to come back too soon, and then they add, twice the healing time to the whole process. It doesn't pay.
Yeah. I think be diligent with your rehab, coming back, your therapy. Be active. Don't get depressed and spiral down into a hole. Get out and be active. Walk. Early morning walks are amazing. I really dug that when I had my shoulder coming back. And take your time. It's gonna be there. Another question was, and I want your input on this. What are the thoughts on the new Scott Spark? So my thought is, I'm angry because now that's a third bike of theirs that I really need to have in my garage.
So my thought on it, I saw a post from a company that was making a trail bike that had the shock inside like that new Scott. It was a company called Bold. And I reached out to them to ask if they had distribution in the US, or if they would be interested in partnering to get that brand more exposure in the US. And their reply to me was, we're not interested in doing anything in the US right now, but in 2022, our bikes will be distributed through Scott dealerships. So I didn't realize at the time, until I saw Scott launch this bike, which basically is a Bold. And I realized, wow, something's happening there. And I did a little digging, and it looks like Scott has purchased Bold.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's great.
How about that?
The bike seems super cool.
So that's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see how it works out.
Cotton. Yeah. I think they're pretty slick looking. It's probably the cleanest bike design that I've ever seen. So I'm excited to check it out. I don't know that I'll ever get to see one, but I'm excited to check it out.
Yeah, so it looks incredible, and I would really like to ride one. And what I will tell you is, when I got on the Genius, I think it was one of the most unbelievable bikes I've ever ridden. Like, talk about the ability to do anything. I did back-to-back, like 37-mile cross-country rides on it. Thing was insane. It worked very well. What?
Was it 27.5 or 29?
No, it was 29 with 2 6s.
It was really deep wheels.
Deep wheels, yeah, 2 6 tires. There was a time when I rode and I hit that twin lock setup fully locked and got my hands in tight on those wacky bars. And was just hooked in behind some gravel riders. And it was an amazing bike. I was stoked. And I was bummed when it got picked up, but I totally forgot in that conversation that they said, "Oh, we're going to bring a ransom." So we get back from Windrock, and I walk out in the garage, and boom, there's a ransom there. And I just
Sure
thought,
is nice being rich, Drew, boy.
I tell you, somebody's got to do it. I thought, dude, it's a 170 bike. Like, what am I going to do with it? Thing's a monster truck, and I haven't really ridden anything since. I've been riding it everywhere. Part of it is because I've been loaning my other bikes out, but
Well, and you know what I really like about those bikes this year for Scott?
Yeah.
Is that colorway goes across the line.
Yeah.
And I think that looks awesome. I'd
cool.
love to see a company like Pivot do something like that, or even Specialized do like a spec where through the line. What's that?
Where color delineates.
Yeah, the colorway delineates through the line.
Yeah.
In this build spec, maybe it's like a top spec. This colorway delineates through the line. I think that would be really cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I love what Scott's doing. I'm actively trying to engage with them to do more, to try to create some content, just because I want a couple of the bikes. The ransom's gnarly, man. Like, for it to be a 170 and pedal like it does. We had, I don't know if you saw that video.
Has been riding those for a while, and
he loves them. Yeah, he absolutely loves it.
When you ride with him, the guy just smashes it. And I always suspected he wasn't really that good, that it was probably just the bikes.
Now we know, because I'm not that good, and it's the bike. So
it's out, Jason.
Yeah. This guy, Scott rode Baker's Creek in Knoxville.
Yeah, Baker's
loved it.
Wish I could have seen a little more of it, but
yeah,
I was pretty tuckered out by that point.
Yeah, you were pretty worked.
I was more interested in the cicadas.
Yeah, the cicadas.
Brood X.
Do we plan to go to either of the EWS races in August? The answer is no. August is packed. We're just busy. You know, we haven't
really EWS races unless you've qualified in advance.
Yeah, and that's the other thing, is you have to qualify. We're just packed. So hopefully 22, 23, we'll get there. Look at this guy. Pedal Andy Pedal says, did you know that you can get the Big Orange Burgers hot chicken sandwich on any of the other burger styles?
Really?
That's what he had when we went there. And he also said, pro tip, don't eat the fried pickles too early like Rich did and burned his mouth.
Where was this at?
Good. Big Orange, that burger joint.
We didn't go there.
We've been there. Ewart Built asks, how's the housing market out there, affordable or going up? It's absolutely unaffordable. So the house right behind me is I think a 3-2, 1,150 square feet, being sold as an Airbnb. So it's completely furnished for $550,000.
It's a lot of cheddar, dude.
A lot of money. He also asked, am I a 29er convert? Yeah, I can't say yes fast enough. I'll ride a 27.5. I mean, I'll have fun on a 27.5, but no, I mean, I'm full send on the 29.
So hey, I saw a post. I don't know if you saw it from Thunder Mountain Bikes.
No.
So they have transitions in stock, and I spoke with my man.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, you told me this. Tell him what the discount you get is.
And I wasn't asking for a discount, but he's got a spur frame in large that I can buy. It's available. And I asked the price, and his answer to me was, the current discount is available.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. Yeah, the Spur's a great bike. I still have mine.
Dropping off his bike if you want to open the garage.
I don't know how long I'm going to have it, but yeah, it's a rad bike. So if you decide to pull the trigger on that, I think you'll dig it.
I'm struggling because I don't have any parts.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things where, like, it's available. And he said he'd hold it for me, but what I told him was, I got to go up there Saturday to pick up that frame from Alex. And what I told him was, if I can scrape the money together, and if it's there, then it was meant to be. And if not, it wasn't meant to be.
Yeah, let it go.
I don't have parts, so it's not like I could build it anyway.
Let it go. If it comes back to you, then it's meant to be, Rob.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
Yeah.
Okay. I think this was good, man. It's 54 people watching.
Cool.
Anything you want to add?
At
the end here? Close it off?
I can't think of anything. can't think of anything. I'm just preparing myself to go out in my garage.
So let's,
CushCore.
yeah, and it's gonna be nice and cool. Andrew asked your thoughts on a Niner Rip 9 RDO. And before you answer, I will not be in Bentonville for the 15th of 20th of July. I will be gone all of July.
On the Rip 9, I've not ridden anything new from Niner, but in 2015, I raced a WFO 9 and I loved it. It was a great bike. And what I've always appreciated about Niner, even now, is they have not moved with the crowd low, long, slack. They have a formula that works. They have a bike that handles tremendously and doesn't have a wheelbase that's a liability. And I respect that. I'm certain if I got on one of those bikes, I'd like it. But the contradiction I have is I like the look of a Transition Sentinel. I like the look of a Specialized Evo. I like what the bikes look like, even when they have attributes that I struggle with, like long wheelbase. And so it's a brutal paradox that I'm facing. Yeah. I don't love the way the Niners look.
Yeah.
I don't love the way they look. Just like that kink in the neck, like the Fazzaris. I don't like the current LaSalle. I don't like that look. That has no bearing on how it works. But for me, especially now, I'm buying bikes. I'm paying, and in most cases, I'm paying retail. So I need to like the thing. It's got to look good to me, or I'm not paying for it. And that's where I'm at. So,
well, Trust is a prime example. A lot of people wouldn't buy them because of how they look. They said, "I don't care how well it works."
I'm one of those people. It's likely. Well, when I pedaled it around, it felt tremendous. I would never. It's like a lefty. People who I talk to who like them and ride them love them, but I can't get past what it looks like. I absolutely can't ride one. I'm not interested, even if it's better.
Scott asked if we have a podcast. This is it, Scott.
This is our podcast. Very haphazard. It's hit and miss.
Dude, we talked about one, and we'll probably end up doing one.
Half the time we talk about doing this, it doesn't happen. So
yeah, we're gonna get there at some point. Who knows when? But at least we did this, and we're gonna try to do it again next week before we hit the road. So, all right, dude, I'm looking at some chicken nuggets and sweet potato fries. I gotta eat.
Nice.
So thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everybody. It's good to get back on here again. And
joining in 45. Follow along at the Rich Drew, at the Rob Drew. And if you have specific questions or topics that you would like to see,
give them to me
or listen. Yeah, send them to us, because we would love to tackle those. I mean, we talk about what we can, and we could babble for a long time, but we would love to be more specific. And we got some more videos coming, so they're coming. There's just been lull in videos. It's because they're all being edited right now, so they're coming soon.
Yes, and if anybody out there is waiting for my bike reviews, I'm working on it. I'm trying to find my voice. It's a lot of pressure on me to get this right.
So. A lot of pressure. So, dude, this is great. Casey says, thank you both for the incredible free information we make available on YouTube. It's our pleasure, dude. He convinced my wife to take lessons with you because you didn't edit your crash with BKXC. I can't tell you how many times recently people have talked about that. And it's funny. Part of it's kind of sad that it stands out that much, because it's life, dude. It's life, man. Everybody crashes.
That makes me feel like my failures are abundant. So obviously I need to capture them more.
Yeah, dude, you need to. Well, you captured one great that resulted in a broken neck and whatnot.
I didn't capture that one, unfortunately.
So we're going to end right now. J-Man asks, biggest bucking mistakes. And he has an S. I'm going to bring it back to mistake. That's being too far back.
Absolutely.
So what we've
so that post I shared with you, that post I shared with you from Ann Gallion.
Ann Gallion, everybody look at it. Go look at Ann Gallion's Instagram right now.
Yeah. So she is a really talented female rider. She's a Yeti rider, has been forever. She's also a very smart woman.
She's a scientist. Like she's a
scientist. She is actually a scientist.
Like a rocket scientist.
So when she says it, it has much more validity. But she pointed out in a post today that one of the best things that she had done to advance her riding skills was to be forward on the bike, be more engaged. And it was like a beam of light coming from the heavens when I read it this morning. I thought it's so great to hear her say that.
Yeah.
And yeah, I have a lot of respect for her, both as a writer and as a human being. She's really awesome.
Yeah.
I don't get to see her anymore, but yeah, one of these days our paths might cross again, maybe on the trail.
Amen. Amen. And one of these days we will be back doing this. Well, probably a different bat time with a different bat channel. All right, dude. That's it. Go get some CushCore going.
Rob Drew, over.
Peace out, dumpers.